Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trader Minute. It's great to have you aboard. My name's Carl, and thanks for tuning in today. And we're looking at the futures here, the S&P, and you can notice that the futures are up quite a bit this morning. They're up about 7.5 right now. They've been climbing earlier today. Fair values, I think it's around 2, I believe, about 2. So the market's set to open about 5 points higher this morning. And earlier this morning, Ballard was on CNBC. And he came out and he commented. He said that the Fed didn't need to be in a hurry to pare the $85 billion a month bond purchases because inflation is low. And he said he wants to see rising inflation to about 2% before tapering. And off those words, and the future was kind of going, futures were up going a little bit ahead of that, but off those words, the futures have been going up pretty much since then, just a little bit at a time. It just kind of shows you the market. Any little comment about tapering being pushed a little bit further down the road, for various reasons, just wants to shoot this market higher. He did say there might be some sluggish tapering, but the market didn't pay much attention to that. It just heard tapering at about 2% when inflation's rising to about 2%. And so, yeah, I mean, so far the market's looking like it's going to be another positive day for it. All right, consumer spending came out this morning, and it was up. It was at $88 per day per household versus 84 in September. Okay, August was 95, so it's still not matching what it was in August, but that's a positive trend for consumer spending. All right, this Friday we got the big jobs report. Right, we'll be, as that nears, you're going to hear a lot more things come up about the jobs report as well. Let's run through and look at our positions this morning. A TLT right now set to gap up about 20 cents on the open. XLE looks like it's set to go up about 30 cents this morning. Silver SLV is set to open down about 7 cents, right around that neighborhood, about 7 cents or so. All right, and then Barrick Gold set to open about 14 cents higher, 14 to 15 cents higher this morning. Okay, so positions they're all looking okay. We'll keep an eye on XLE. That thing seems to like that $86 level, doesn't it? All right. Some of the things that we were looking at on Friday, and the market's set to open here in about 6 minutes. Well, let me run through. Sorry, the gold with you. Gold is up about $5 this morning. So not a huge move on gold, but that's pushing ABX ever so slightly. That's going to need a pretty big move there. And it is the positive note here is ABX is rising on the price of gold, even with the new shares there. That's a positive. We can get a jump in the price of gold. Who knows what will happen with ABX after their announcement that they did a couple of days, last Thursday or Thursday or so, I believe it was. And oil down about 44 cents this morning. Okay, some of the other stocks that we talked about on Friday, the top three. Let's just run through those really fast with you. Well, let me show you silver first of all before I get going here. This is silver futures. You can see they're well off their overnight lows, way down into this range here. They've spiked up this morning, and it's slowly been selling off. I saw it when the futures were up in this range, and at least for silver, it looked like it might break out of these highs right here. Didn't quite make it out of there. Really, it's on just above a support level here, around 21.78. A little bit of support for it right there. We'll keep an eye on silver this morning. Some of the stocks we talked about on Friday for the top three, we had Walgreens. And Walgreens right now, slowly trending higher. Let me put this in over here, and I can see where it closed. It's set to open about 15. It's got a pretty nice spread here between the bid and the ask. So it's probably 15 to 30 cents higher, maybe even $1 higher right here. It just depends on where that opens. The ask right now is 81.61, which is about 80 cents higher, but the bid here is at about 81. So 15 cents at least. It could move a lot higher than that right on the open. All right, so so far, Walgreens looking good. We also talked about U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel closed at about 214.94. It's set to open up about 40 to 60 cents higher. Right in there, it's got about a 30-cent spread between the bid and the ask, so it's set to move higher a little bit as well. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one here. Yeah, this is set to open, man, as much as 80 cents higher this morning, U.S. Steel. It closed at 25.78. It's sitting at 26.80 right now. So it's set to open, it's going to have a nice open, U.S. Steel. And I was kind of excited to see that one because when that one thing moves and you catch it right, it can really take off. All right, and the other one that we talked about for the top three last Friday was Comcast, CMCSA. And Comcast closed at 48.65 on Friday. It's get set to open at 48.55. But then it also goes up to 49.11. So we'll see where that opens. But right now it could open as much as 40 cents higher. But that bid price, it's got a decent spread there right now. So we'll see where that opens. But right now, all three of Friday's lunch picks seem to be doing all right. And I bring those up because I know that a lot of you jump into some of those right around the close. Okay. Some of the things I've noticed this morning, some earnings. Kellogg's, the stock we talk about in here quite a bit. K is their ticker symbol. They beat by 6 cents. Revenues slightly higher. Not a huge boost of revenues, but the top line numbers, everything looks pretty good for K. And then also Agrium. We talked about Agrium a little bit here. We don't do a lot of trading around the ags because as far as the agricultural stocks, because they can be really volatile. Kind of like solar. They can look one way and go the exact opposite. But Agrium got an upgrade to an overweight. That's a pretty nice upgrade. So they're probably likely to get a boost this morning. Oxy, OXY, we've traded that here. Same thing, they got an upgrade to an overweight. And then Kohl's, KSS. And Oxy, sorry, is OXY. I just sound out the ticker symbols. Okay, but Kohl's got an upgrade to a buy over there at UBS. So there's a few upgrades there. There was quite a few this morning. I noticed some of the retailers got upgrades, coming from consumer spending, going to that time of season. Keep an eye on the retailers right now. We're going to keep an eye on retailers. It's a pretty good time of year for it. All right, so let's run over here and go through our positions. So let's just see where the market's opening up. About 3.5 right now. Based on the positive comments, we're right up here, not too far from an all-time high. If we make another all-time high today, that would be a pretty big move for the market. But let's look at TLT initially out of the gates this morning. Okay, well, thanks TMT. We'll look at Tesla. Up about 29 cents right now. That's TLT. And then XLE up 33 cents. It's right up there at the 7-day moving average. A positive sign for this is to see it roll over today. When stocks gap like this, right here, right to the 7-day moving average, even if they punch through the average and end up coming back below it, that would be a bearish sign for this. We want this 86 level to break. I don't want this to turn out like another GE. For those who are around with GE, it just didn't want to go away from that price point. I forget the price point, but I think it was like 48. It did not want to budge from that. But here, it's early. It's up slightly. It might go up a little bit higher today, but I'd like to see it roll over and push back below the 7. That would be very positive for this position. And then we got SLV. 8 cents. So 21 level here is down 8 cents. The 21 level is the areas we'd like it to hold. It's been a pretty big level of support for it, and we'll keep an eye on this throughout the morning. And then we also have ABX, Barrick Gold. Now remember, they got the news, gapped against us way over our stop, and they got the news of they're putting on another, I forget the exact number. It seems like it's 358 million shares, something like that, into the marketplace, which caused this to gap way against us last Friday. And it's up 8 cents. It's flat. It might be sluggish. Even if the price of gold goes up, it might be a little bit sluggish just because it's got those extra shares. And hopefully those are all bought up and this price just keeps going. Okay. We're going to need a pretty good move in the price of gold for this one. Okay. So that's our positions. And one stock I just want to note, BlackBerry. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that RIM, which used to be BlackBerry, RIMM, was one of my favorite stocks to day trade. I just loved it. It just had nice moves. It was easy to predict. I did very well off of Research in Motion. About a year ago or so, they changed their ticker here to something that most people would recognize, would be BlackBerry. But today, I guess they had quite a meeting amongst all the big shots there at BlackBerry. They ousted their CEO, and there was talks of a takeover plan in place. Those fell apart this morning. So this is down about 15%. And once again, doesn't look very good for BlackBerry. And this is in the bottom right corner. Remember, stocks, when they get in that bottom right corner, they tend to stay there and tend to go down further. Versus stocks in the upper right corner tend to stay up there and go higher. Now, we couldn't have seen that coming, this type of a move. But not some more bad news for BlackBerry. I want to take a look at Kellogg's this morning. So they're gapping up and they've run up a little bit today. They got the good earnings announcement. It's probably affecting some of the other stocks out there. Well, not at Johnson & Johnson. Hershey's. Now this is in a really interesting spot, you guys. So keep an eye on this one. So remember, it's jumped up there. It's broke through 100. Well, a week ago today, it closed at about 100 on Tuesday. It went up above it. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. What we'd want to see here today for a possible entry, and I'll keep an eye on this. It could be on the lunch top 3. It's really, really early in the day, but let me change this to blue so it doesn't look like a red hollow candlestick. But what it's done here, it's consolidated back to the 7, just below 100. Last time it broke 100, it did it on some pretty good volume last Tuesday. A push here up off the 7. You get the candle something like that today. Very, very positive. If you got some extra volume going with that, that would make this trade even more scrumptious. Scrumptious? Did I say scrumptious? It's looked that much better. Okay. So we'll watch that today and see if that happens. It may or may not. Early on, it's set up like it could do that. But right now, with the uptrend intact, a little bit of a pullback here, a push up like that would be really a nice looking trade. And I really like to trade Hershey's as well. When this thing takes off, look at these nice uptrends when it goes. If you can catch one of these, you can do quite well with Hershey's. So my eyes will be on that. We'll talk about that again at lunch. Top 3. Very similar here with Colgate. Very similar Hershey's. It shot up a little bit on Friday. It came back, hit the 7, pushed up off of it. Not a bad looking entrance. It's got a lot of volume back in that move right there, and so far it's gapped up about a dime. Pushes higher today. That one, you wouldn't be chasing it at this point. It's right there. And here's Clorox. Very similar move. For here, you want to push up here through 90. You can see it's been selling off. The volumes look huge right here. They are pretty big. A push here up through 90 would be very, very bullish. Down here kissing up off the 7, pushing up through a big level like 90. This thing could run up into the 94 to 95 area. If it gets out of here and can hold 90 as a new support level, this thing could really be off. These things can they really take off. Okay, top 3 from last Friday. Nice. Up $1.20. I was hoping it would go into that upper range that I was talking about. It had that huge spread between the bid and the ask. But there it is. It gapped up $1.20. That's about almost 5% right now. Nice move. And if you've got into this trade, congratulations. Okay, it just it looked right in the chart. And then the other one was Walgreens. Walgreens up about 19 cents right now. I had a nice looking entry on Friday. Would like this to just keep pushing higher. Okay, and the other one we talked about on the top 3 was Comcast. This is up as well, running up here. It's up 22 cents right now, and it still looks good. It's had some strong volumes here coming out of here. The thing I really liked about a couple of these was the earnings. Right, and what I really liked about the setups, well, they had this big earnings turnaround right here. Gaps down, runs higher through the day. It sold off right into the end of that day on Thursday, last Thursday. Sold off here and has gapped higher and pushed up off the 7 again. Very strong looking move. Okay, let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, this is gapping above the 7. It's a pretty decent move. Now what, for the bears out there, you want this thing by the end of the day to finish back below the 7. That's what you'd be looking for. If I'm in a trade on this, I'd be out at 170. I wouldn't stick around at 170. It's extremely overvalued, but these stocks can just keep going if people see the future for these type of companies as looking really, really good. They can keep going even on big time overvaluations, which we're seeing right here with Tesla. It's a big overvaluation. Okay, but that's what I'd be looking for. Yeah, push here above 170, out bearish. I wouldn't say get bullish on it quite yet, but definitely be out bearish. And if you're in the trade by the end of the day, you'd love to see this roll back over, go back through that 7-day average. That would be the bearish sign you're looking for to stay bearish on it. Okay. Let's go take a look at Facebook. And we've looked at Facebook quite a bit here in the past. So initially, it's really early. We're 10 minutes into the day. Okay, John, thanks. And Matt, I'll get to those. Initially, right here, very, very bearish on Facebook. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so 50. Multiple to 10, they tend to be the biggest levels of support / resistance. And look what it's done. Even here on the earnings, which was a dramatic turnaround, it came back to 50 and stopped right there. The next day, which was Friday, what did it do? It tried to push up through 50 and the 7-day moving average. It failed again. It got up through the 50, got up through the $50 level, pushed higher, and then by the end of the day rolled over and closed back below the 7. A push like this right here, bouncing off the 7 down below 50, to me just locked in 50 as resistance. How far could it come down? The 47.5, it's not, where are we at? It's about $1, about 80 cents away from there right now, about 90 cents away from there right now. Down to 45 would be the next stop after 47.5. 47.5 has been a pretty decent level for it. But right now, that's really looking bearish on Facebook. See where the volume comes in at the end of the day. If the volume comes in equal to last Friday's volume right here, really bearish. And then again, this could drop down to 47.5, got through there, it's going to 45. There's no doubt, which would be a really nice move for Facebook. Okay, let's take these stocks one at a time here. I got Rig, Transocean. Okay, so off of a bottom here, company had some decent earnings, gapped up, came down, caught 47. 47's been support for it, / resistance over through August, July, September. Came back to it, had a nice reversal candle come Friday and pushing higher again today. I want to see this next round of buying come in here, see if it can push up here. It's still below the 7. I wouldn't get bullish on it till it can get above that, set back above the 7. Okay. And then you're probably going to have a little bit of resistance right about this area, about 49, 49.50 is where, about 49.50 is where you're going to see the next level of resistance. But I wouldn't get bullish on it until it gets back above that 7. If you're in a trade on it bearish, watch the 7. If it 7 holds and it starts to push back down, then hey, stay in the trade. Okay. All right, an AUI. With gold up slightly this morning, so's this. I know that there's some people still in this trade bullish. The positive thing here we want it to do is hold 9.5. A gap below it. If it can push back up through 9.5, that's just showing a little bit of strength right there. Watch for that today. If it rolls over and drops below Friday's low, it's coming back down here to 9. So watch it. If it can hold the 9.5 level, you've got to, that would probably hold as a new support level. If it breaks Friday's low, it's coming to 9. All right. And then Bank of America. It's just flat, right now. It's still below the 7, and it hasn't been above the 7 since about the 20th of October. Every time it hits it, for 14 to hold and you get a big bullish candle up through the 7 today, I wouldn't be too bearish on it anymore. But just these little tiny candles down here right around the $14 mark, they tend to be weak. So watch them. A break of 14's taking it down at least another quarter into the lower Bollinger Band right there. But early on, no signs of real strength right here at all. I wouldn't get bullish on it. If I was bearish, I'd stay in it. If it closed above the 7 on a pretty decent looking little candlestick, let me show you what I'm talking about. A Marubozu, something like this. If it closes with something like that, breaking above the 7 on some decent volume, I wouldn't stay bearish. Okay. And then you got People's Bank. So here it's dropped below the 7 on Friday, and today it's trading below the 7 again. It was up a little while ago. Now it's just dropped a cent. The level here you'd like to see it break is 14.25, but stay bearish as long as this is below the 7. Stay bearish on it. The bullish move closes if it gets up here above the 7 on a decent looking candle. That would be bullish for it, but early on it looks weak. Okay, Nike. Hey. The longer it remains up here, the more bullish you're going to see this. What you're looking for with Nike to be bullish here, you want to push up here above the 76 area. A nice looking candle similar to, and you're saying puts on it, but I wouldn't do puts right away. If I saw a nice candle, at least that size right over here, that would be good. Anything like that pushing up off of 76, this is going higher. The fact that it's held above the 7 now for well over a week is positive for it. I wouldn't look to play puts unless this thing broke down through the 7 on some pretty decent volume. That's what I'd be looking for Nike. I wouldn't play calls yet. I'd watch this into the close today to see if it goes higher. Now it has had extreme light volumes, but it's holding. It's still holding the 7. I wouldn't get bearish till you see it start to close back below the 7. And if that's the case, it could drop down to the 74, even possibly even the $72 level. All right. And then DuPont. So DuPont has gapped down this morning and has since, hit 60 and has come up slightly. That's what that little red hollow candle means. A red hollow is a hollow candlestick, which means it opened at the bottom of the body, closed at the top, or is at the trading at the top in the case of the market being open in here. So that tells me it's gapped down here to just above 60, went down and probably hit 60 to run a little bit higher. Okay, now I haven't seen the news on this. I guess I could dig into it a little bit and see if there's any kind of news around this. But 60 is the area that you would expect it to hold. If 60 breaks, it'd be pretty bearish for it. Big multiple of 10. You can see it's been a nice resistance slash hopefully a new support level here for it for the bulls out there. You also got the 20-day moving average right along with it. But if you're in a put trade on this, good. Congratulations, first of all. And it's gapped a little ways away from the 7. To stay bearish, it's got to break 60. It could come back up here towards 61 and retest that level up towards the 7-day average. But it's tough to call these gaps. Is it going to fill it? I don't know. When stocks gap, I always go and try to find news on it. There's not always news on it. Sometimes there's just some selling. A lot of selling that's happened in the pre-market. All right, so let's do one more quick rundown of our positions. TLT up 37 cents. That's good. We'll take that and let it keep on running for us. XLE, it's rolled over a little bit. It's still on that 7. It's pushed down a little bit. That's what that black filled candlestick represents. A black filled candlestick. It opened at the top of the body and is trading right now at the bottom of the body. So it's come down off the highs. That's good. We'll take that. And then SLV, right where it was, down 7, right on 21. And then ABX, up 8 cents. We'll take that. We'll take what we can get on that one. Hoping that one comes back for us, but it's going to need a big boost in the price of gold. Now, even then, I think it might be a little bit sluggish after the news it got. All right, and for those who made some of the trades, I'm going to run this through again because I know that there's people in this trade. So Walgreens still up 21 cents. And then we also entered U.S. Steel, 88 cents. It was up about $1.20 a little while ago. It's up 88 cents right now. Again, we're only 20 minutes into the day, but still a very nice move so far on U.S. Steel. And then Comcast, up 2 cents. Okay, so it's early on in the day. We're going to let all our positions play out here today. I'll be on video. I'll be on chat with you all day long. Jeff should be in a little bit later on today. Had some things to do this morning. But I'll be on chat with you. If you have anything you want me to look at, any questions for me, just chat them on in there. You can also reach me through email. If you want me to answer something like that, just it's Carl, and that's with a C, as you can see there in the chat, Trader Carl at TraderMinute.com. All right, one last stock. Let's look at St. Jude's. If I can get the spelling right. St. Jude's, nice so far. I like the action. So this is in a bull vibe mode. And it comes along, hits the 7. It hit it last. Let's zoom in on here so you can get a feel for what I'm looking at here. Okay, here's last Thursday. Hits it on Thursday. Friday is below it. By the end of the day, pushes back up above it on some pretty decent volumes, I might add. It's okay, at least right up there in the average volume. On Friday, nice looking up. And today, it's pushing up off at 58. That's really bullish looking early on like this. A run higher. This isn't one of those speed demon stocks. It's just going to kind of grind throughout the day. And a nice push up here off 58. This thing's likely to go up into the $60 level. It might take a little time. It's not one of the fastest moving stocks out there, but yeah, I mean, if you're in this trade bullish, it's looking good for you today. All right. Okay, everybody. Again, I'll be on chat with you if you have any questions. Chat them on in, and I'll talk to you a little bit later on. Thanks. Bye-bye.